You're not thinking about Darla, are you?
No, of course not. Good. I wonder if she's not thinking of me, too. Why are boys such jerks?
You're not thinking about alfalfa, are you?
Oh, no way.
Are you sure?
These are like a bad song. Once you get them stuck in your head, you can't get them out again.
Why do they have to be so different?
Girls get along with each other.
Boys stand up for themselves.
Girls care.
Boys take what's theirs. Boys won't listen.
All they want to do is talk.
They like to moon ya.
No, we don't. Giggling and gossiping.
Fighting and farting.
Barbies and bracelets.
Boogers and bugs.
Ice skating.
Bungee jumping.
Synchronized swimming.
And trying to get them to sit still. Boys! Girls!
And the worst thing of all,
They smell weird!
Many parents have questions about their children, their children's behavior, and specifically their children's gender. What is the difference between gender and sex? Is gender something innate, so boys are born as boys and girls are born as girls, or is it something that they learn as they grow up? How real are the differences between boys and girls? What can influence my child's gender? Can I change my child's gender or affect it at all? Can I mess it up? Should I encourage my child to do things in line with their gender, or should I let them explore? Can a child have no gender? These can be difficult questions to answer, so we'll begin with the difference between gender and sex. What is the difference between gender and sex? First, we're going to need to lay down some definitions. Gender is defined as the behavioral, cultural, and psychological traits typically associated with one's sex. Sex is defined as either of the two major forms of individuals that occur in many species and that are distinguished respectively as female or male, especially on the basis of their reproductive organs and structures. The main difference between gender and sex is that while sex is something inherent in each person and written into their chromosomes, gender is a set of socially defined traits we consider to be part of males and females. What may be considered a masculine behavior in one culture may be a feminine behavior in another culture, and in yet another culture, it may be neither. Thus, there is no such thing as universally gendered traits. It is important to note, however, that some traits, such as aggression, may be associated with a gender in the vast majority of societies, giving the appearance of a universal gender trait. Remember that it is only an appearance, however. Is gender something innate or something learned? This question is right next door to our first question. Current research and developmental theory points to gender as being a social category, as we have discussed already. If gender is a social category, then it follows logically that it is a learned part of a child's personality, rather than something they are born with. Developmental theorists have dubbed the process of children classifying themselves as one gender or the other as gender typing. While there are many competing theories on how children gain their gender, which we will discuss later, some timing effects of this process have been observed. By age 3, children can identify themselves and others as either a girl or a boy, though they tend to focus on external factors to determine gender, such as hair length or clothing. They tend to rely on gender stereotypes, which they begin to accumulate around this age. By age 7, children understand that gender is an unchanging part of the self. For example, they could understand that even though a boy has long hair, something normally typical of girls, he is still a boy. How real are the differences between boys and girls, and what are they?
Okay. You've been doing this for the past 5 minutes. Do you think it's time to stop? Meanwhile, while the boy does that, what is the girl doing? Yeah.
Here's a very important question. What is the difference between boys and girls?
Can't the one have blonde hair and one has short hair?
Oh, so girls have blonde hair and boys have short hair.
Xavier, can you tell me what the difference between boys and girls are?
Boys have penises and girls have vaginas.
Okay, that's a good one. Is there anything else that makes them different?
Some girls have green eyes and some boys have blue eyes.
Okay, anything else?
While it may at first seem obvious that there are differences between boys and girls, pinning down exactly what those are in a scientific manner has proven to be a difficult exercise. The problem lies in distinguishing traits as true differences between the sexes or as effects of the way we treat and raise our children. Researchers have found a handful of differences, though, including boys are more active than girls, including time spent in the womb. Girls outperform boys in assessments of verbal ability. However, boys outperform girls on arithmetic tests as well as visual spatial skills tests. Girls are more emotionally expressive than boys, with the exception that boys show anger more readily. Boys show higher levels of self-esteem than girls, while girls are more compliant and timid. Finally, boys show more verbally and physically aggressive actions than girls. However, most of these differences are small, and individual differences in these areas outweigh gender differences in any particular child, so parents should not worry if their child deviates from any of these tendencies. Overall, boys and girls are far more similar than they are different. How does my child gain their gender, and what can influence it? There are many theories on how children gain their gender. Social learning theory suggests that children learn gender stereotypes through observational learning of other people's behaviors. Behaviors that are rewarded are mimicked, while behaviors that are punished are shunned, and hence children learn how to be a boy or a girl. Cognitive developmental theory suggests that the process is more cerebral, requiring children to gain an early gender identity and recognize that it is stable. Then, they can begin to choose behaviors and models that are in line with their gender and thus learn it. Gender schema theory blends the two together, claiming that after gaining a basic gender identity, children begin to put together lists of what is and what is not an acceptable behavior for each gender through modeling and observational learning. They begin to gather and maintain observations that are consistent with their ideas on their own gender and ignore observations to the contrary. Can I change or influence my child's gender? Not exactly. Gender acquisition is an individual process of consciously and subconsciously evaluating innumerable influences and events, which greatly diminishes the effect of any one influence. That being said, parents are still one of the primary influences on gender development, though their greater importance is in how children perceive genders. For example, parents have a massive influence in determining what a child views as appropriate behavior for each gender. Can I mess it up? In extreme cases, such as gender dysphoria, yes, the parents can have a damaging impact on the child if they send inconsistent signals on behavior appropriateness or punish the child for displaying certain gendered behaviors that may come naturally to them. Should I encourage my child to do things in line with their gender, or should I let them explore? In general, it is best for the child if they are allowed to explore their world and the options available to them. In most cases, even without parents pushing a child towards gender-appropriate behavior, the multitude of other influences, such as peers and the media, will steer the child towards those behaviors. However, parental encouragement to explore behaviors can increase a child's openness and understanding of other people and different roles in society. That means parents have an extra significance in dispelling gender myths and instilling a sense of gender equality in their children. Can a child have no gender? The answer depends on how you view gender. As we've previously established, the modern view of gender is as a set of socially learned traits that a person may possess. These traits are usually thought to exist along a continuum, allowing individuals to possess them to differing degrees. So, for example, someone could be high on masculine traits and low on feminine traits, resulting in being classified as a male. Setting up masculine and feminine traits like this allows it to be possible to be high in both or low in both. Being low on both spectrums results in a child being classified as undifferentiated, meaning that they're relatively neutral and display few gendered traits overall. On the other hand, being high on both spectrums results in a child being androgynous, where they display a large number of traits gendered for both males and females. Research has shown that androgynous people are usually well-adjusted and fit easily into a wide range of situations where members of one gender or the other may not function as well. However, as children, androgynous people may have more difficulty making friends and fitting in socially due to the strict gender segregation of social groups that children normally display. Summary.
Justin, says here you played dress up with your sister?
Yeah, I have an older sister. She's 14 now, and she dressed me up in a tutu, and we started prancing around the house.
Okay, so...
But I actually thought I looked good in the tutu.
So just to be clear, are you playing for the boys' team or the girls' team?
Boys.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear about that.
Gender development is a deep and complex issue that we only scratch the surface of in this video. Despite what we may hear in pop culture, the differences between males and females are usually slight and are exaggerated up to much larger proportions in the media. Parents play an important part in helping their children navigate the complex signals and influences, pushing them to develop their own gender. Although young children have a tendency to adhere to and distinguish others according to gender stereotypes, with the proper guidance, children can be taught to be more egalitarian.